is another budget smartphone by Samsung, and it's called the Samsung Galaxy A05. Now, some people consider Samsung's budget A series phones as expensive, but on the Samsung Galaxy A05, that's not the case. So in this video, I'll be telling you the goods and the bads of this smartphone and what this phone is actually worth. Now, the unboxing experience is pretty tragic. You only get a Type-C cable and a SIM ejector too. That's a bummer because you would have expected more accessories in the box, especially for a phone that costs $100 plus, because it supports 25-watt charging, but it doesn't come with a 25-watt charger in the box. Now, the first thing you'll notice when you take a look at the phone is its height. It's pretty big with a height of 16 centimeters. You can literally compare it with the Samsung S23 Ultra. Now, I don't know why it's this big, but it is. And it does have its perks, like a bigger screen for watching movies or YouTube videos or gaming. But using this phone one-handed will be very, very difficult. Another thing you will notice is that it doesn't have a side-mounted fingerprint scanner, but it does come with a face unlock feature. Now, you think a phone at this price would come with one, but it doesn't. Now, that's another bummer. We do get a downfiring speaker on the top and the bottom, and a dual nano SIM tray that supports expandable storage of up to 1 terabyte. Now, this phone is glossy and it shows quite a decent amount of fingerprints. And as you already know, I'm not a fan of glossy. It shows too much fingerprints. Now, with the way this phone is built, it will make this phone look unattractive. Or you could just think of putting a rag in your pockets for the meanwhile you're using this phone. Or just put a case, but it doesn't come with a case in the box. Samsung. So this phone is made of plastic, so it's solid, but you have to be careful of scratches. Or I've already said, just put a case. Oh, and this phone starts at a price of 95,500 naira and goes up to a price of 114,900 naira. So technically 115,000. So on the front we get a 6.7-inch 720p 60Hz IPS LCD panel, but I would have expected a 90Hz refresh rate, and in addition it comes with 700 nits of peak brightness. So using this phone under the sun would be okay. You could definitely clearly see your phone. When it comes to the notch, you get the U-shaped notch, or as Samsung calls it, the Infinity U display. So the processor powering this phone is the MediaTek Helio G85 coupled with the Mali G52 GPU. I know this is a pretty dusty old processor, but for the price you're actually getting the best. But Samsung did give us 4 gig of RAM and a 6 gig version. But to get that 6 gig version, you have to add a bit of molar. The performance on this phone is decent, but you will notice a bit of lag while playing games. But when it comes to multitasking, like opening and closing app, texting, making calls, watching social media, doing all those kind of things and so on, now those will serve you very well. But if you're in that group of people that runs multiple heavy apps simultaneously, then you'll notice this phone starts to slow down over time. But aside from that, this phone has a very good processor. You won't notice any problems. Oh, and just to throw this out there, this phone does come with Android 13. This year, Samsung did give us 4 years of software update. So it could take this phone from Android 13 to Android 17. And I find that nice. Now we get a 50 megapixel camera and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. And like any other budget smartphone that came out this year, if you're in a good lighting conditions, the main camera does decently well. The colors on this phone are vibrant, they are crisp, they take a lot of detail when taking pictures. The phone also has a 8 megapixel selfie cam. When it comes to video, it shoots up to 1080p at 30 frames per second. It does have a very good camera and a bit of stabilization, and I would say this phone has arguably the best cameras for this price, but definitely it takes better photos than videos. Now you get a 5000 milliamp hour battery. That's very good, but also what you expect from a phone at this price. So it could probably last you like a full day of use, maybe even more, depending on what you're doing at that time. It also supports up to 25-watt charging, but it doesn't come with 25-watt charging brick in the box. And I think that's a bummer, because I wouldn't, or we wouldn't want to go and buy a phone of 95,000 naira or higher and still go and buy a separate charger from elsewhere, and that could still cost maybe up to 1,000 going up to maybe 5,000 because it's Samsung charger. And now, to sum it all up, is this phone actually worth buying? Well, personally, it is. Well, except for the 60 Hz refresh rate and the lack of accessories in the box. Aside from that, it's a pretty good phone. But yeah, that's my review on a Samsung Galaxy A05. If you found value in this video, subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you're buying this phone, or if you have any other questions. Indicate in the comments so we could have a little, chit chat. Okay, cool. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.